Really good. I thought day one offensively was just okay. A lot of execution errors. Didn't think we made enough plays, especially on the perimeter. But really have focused in these last 3 days, specifically the last two when you put pads on. Very competitive. A lot of back and forth, which is exactly what you're looking for. And I think we've also taken some jumps on special teams as well.
What about the energy? It looks like you guys are not lacking any of the juice. How's that working?
Yeah, the juice is definitely in plenty. It's plentiful right now. I think the guys, it's easy to do in this first block when you're so excited about getting back to it. We'll see what happens after the off day, and then we got to get back to work on Monday.
One thing you mentioned day one when I was here was execution, just of the small things. How's the effort and the execution been going through?
Yeah, I think, like I said, the last 3 days have really been, especially offensively, a much higher level in terms of the execution. Still plenty of mistakes being made everywhere. I really like where we're at defensively. I think those guys, especially in the back end, have really started doing a better job with communication and getting more on the same page. And it's good to see. The effort's been there. That's never been a concern of mine with this group, but the execution definitely needed to get better, and I think it did.
Offensively, are you seeing them play faster than they did in the spring?
Yeah, much faster. I think just the knowledge base is much better now. We have a much more firm understanding of what Coach Shoemaker and the rest of our offensive coaching staff is trying to get done. So when you have a better feel, you have more confidence. Normally you have more confidence to play faster.
Speaking of special teams, looks like you might have a kicker competition.
No doubt.
How's that going? How's that going, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good competition right now. Right now, Owen Forsman and Tyler Kinsman have really kind of shown themselves as kind of battling back and forth for the place kicking job. Owen Adams is a little bit dinged up right now. He's out, so he was not able to compete. And anytime you have two good guys competing, you don't want to be the third guy that's out. But I know he's another guy that could be a factor as well. But I think the competition's going well. I want to see who can be consistent.
When you're evaluating this practice and maybe this block in film, what are you looking for specifically?
Improvement, right? We want to make sure that we're going to make plenty of mistakes, just not making the same ones. I was talking to the guys about whatever we really needed to focus on from a mistake standpoint. The last practice should be now a strength, and we shouldn't be seeing those same mistakes as we got them coached up. So just to see the guys continue to play with great effort, and when they do make mistakes, making new mistakes.
Speaking of that improvement, what have you seen improve so far through day 4?
Starting on offense, I just think the execution pre-snap, doing a better job with our motion shifts, making sure guys know where they're going. And then defensively, like I said earlier, just the communication, just continuing to communicate at a high level, because at the end of the day, if we're all wrong together, at least we can play the call. And so I think that those two things have really stood out for sure on our O&D.
And looking forward, what do you want to see be improved on?
The consistency of making plays, right? I think it's one thing to know what to do, right? Be in the right spot. Now we got to go make the plays. So try to see who can consistently do that, because obviously those guys will be the guys that will be out there the most on Saturdays.
Just got one more question for you, Coach. You talked about with no pads, it's difficult to see the trenches, but now they have pads on. What do you see in the competition with the trenches?
Both sides of the football are doing an excellent job. I think defensively, Coach Mulla, Coach Roberts doing a great job with that D-line, and Coach Ensley and Coach Cox have done a great job on the offensive line. So what I'm seeing is the physicality, and I'm starting to see a lot of back and forth, right? There's not a bunch of plays where one side of the football is dominating, and I think that's definitely a good thing. You never want to see one side just completely dominating, because that means that other side probably isn't very good. So I think just continuing to see that consistency with pad level and physicality is what I'm looking for the rest of the way.
So first off, initial reactions from the first block and day 4 practice.
I'm really happy with the guys. Honestly, just the growth, the continued growth from what we did in OTAs in spring and the summer. Just collectively, the intelligence, right, the communication skills and all that, our guys will continue to take the next step. So really happy with the first block, first 4 days.
I saw a 3-3-5 and a 4-2-5 today.
Yeah.
How is that working out, and what exactly are you trying to figure out there now?
Yeah, really in regard to maybe some situational football, right? I got the 3-3-5 is what we'll base in. We'll run a ton of it and be in the 3 high, truly believe in it. But the opportunity to be a little more multiple and it even just help us with situational football would be key. But we've got the D lineman up front to manage that 3-down look, and plenty of athletes everywhere else in the field.
Who has stood out to you most in this first week of practice?
I'll be honest, some of the new faces, Dion Gunn, transfer for us, right? DB, junior college transfer, has been phenomenal for us. Luke Teskey, right, defensive end, grad transfer for us. Two guys that have, again, learned quickly, that have stepped up. So yeah, I think those guys, outside of the returning, right, guys that we've already mentioned in the past, but those two have really stepped in and really added value quickly.
And obviously you can't go full tackle mode right now, but how do you measure a successful practice for this kind of defense?
I think to me it's limiting, obviously, explosive plays, right? The thing that works best for us on defense, we've got an elite offense. We've got explosive playmakers all across the field, so they stress us out with that. So ability, I think, limit explosive plays, right? Can we take the ball away, right? And the ball security aspect of the offense. But I think really just the critical errors, right? The mental, the communication errors. The game's not going to be perfect, right? It's not a game of perfection, but if we can eliminate those big plays and really eliminate the critical errors from a communication standpoint, if you do that, I think it's a great practice.
Let's go on top of that a little bit. One thing that Ford said in the first practice is you guys are going to work on communication more. How have you seen that maybe improve over the past few days?
I think it's night and day. I think it's a lot of just comfortability. It's the formation rec. I think defensively, you're going to see a ton of us being faced with tempo, right, throughout the season, all that. So just the nature of how quickly they can respond to one another and react to the opponent as they line up across the field from us, I think that's been probably the biggest improvement, right? I think there's confidence in what they're doing, and everyone is on the same page.
I just want to go back to the standouts a little bit. Who are maybe some guys you've seen take the biggest strides in spring camp?
I think Khalid Rawls, all right, safety-wise, as he came into a new position this spring and he's continuing now into camp, I think he's taking a huge stride. Again, really for him, going from corner to safety, more mental. I would say really one of the new freshmen too, Nashville Kelly, has shown up, right, really explosive, really violent at the point of attack. And then to be honest, I think the corners, there is a lot of competition in our corner. The guys that we knew had talent, guys that maybe shown some glimpses of being really good, are now consistently great every day, day in, day out. So I think Coach TD, I think he's done a great job with that room too.
One thing I want to ask about is the installation of the defense. I know it's also on the field, but it's also off the field. How has the install been so far?
Been really good. I think we've done a great job as a staff kind of planning the structure of how we installed, right, what we're installing together and how quickly, structurally, right, conceptually, right, making it match and make it easy for the players. But honestly, it's time spent on the field, it's mental walkthroughs, it's in the classroom, and really using all those different areas, right, to be able to really connect with our players and the kids so they can go out there in full speed and do it well. So it's been great.
What have you seen them pick up the fastest, I would say?
Fast, I think really the biggest growth is really going from that 3-3-5 structure and adjusting to all the movements, right? Adjusting to where the formation moves, and it's 2 back formations, it's 1 back formations, it's open, empty, right? That to me has been the biggest growth.
Absolutely. What about leaders on all 3 phases? Who have stood out as leaders for you?
I think from the D-line perspective, right, the Augustus twins continue to go. Mason Cron's a guy that continues to speak up, right, guys that have value. Luke Teskey is starting to get there, right? He's building trust with those guys as the new face. I think the linebacker room, Ryder Bordner continues to be a guy, right, mentally. It's huge influence on his teammates. Cruz Hepburn, right? Gibson continues again as a guy that transferred in the spring, right? All those guys. Nico Spear in that linebacker room, I'm really happy with that leadership. Then the back end, I think the same way as by committee, right? I think AK at corner has done a phenomenal job. Some of the guys aren't really maybe the most vocal guys, but the influence, the conversations one-on-one, you see that pay huge dividends, right? Off the field, in the classroom, right away from the facility, you can tell there's huge influence. Stewart, another guy at corner, Zach Woostig, right, at safety, Khalid Rawls, those guys have continued to do a phenomenal job.
We've got 2 more questions for you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, I saw you working with the DBs quite a bit today. Is that a main focus right now?
I think for me, it's the ability to, as all of us in the back 7, right, linebackers, safeties, corners, right, a lot of the group indie stuff, right, what it's different coverages and run fits and things like that, the ability for them to hear different voices, right, be able to work with different sets of players, I think continues to build that trust. So you'll see all of our coaches, right, whether it's our circuits, whether it's the defenses, group indie, right, all 3 levels, our D-line coaches, backers, DBs, all kind of universally touching each group.
And then going forward, what do you want to see your defense improve on?
I think to me, it's the speed of it, right? It's the speed in what we do. It's trying to eliminate any confusion, any of the small doubt there might be, right? There's a big difference between playing defense and playing defenses, right? Can we be confident? Can we execute at a high level and get really, really good at our base defense as we move forward, obviously closer to week 1?
Initial reactions from this practice, man?
Today was a good day. The defense came together. Proud of how we all played together. We were communicating out there, and it was great.
Getting the battle axe, how does that feel to get the battle axe?
Man, I couldn't have done it without the team, defense playing together. Like, we're all on the same page. Let me perform today the way I did, so shout out to the team.
And you're a transfer, correct?
Yes, sir.
How does it feel to be in Moscow, to be in Idaho with this team?
It's a great time, man. Like, I come from Durham, New Hampshire. That's where we played, another small college town. So I'm used to the environment. Had a great time this summer with the boys training. So it's a great time right now.
What have you, I guess, developed with this defense? What have you improved on so far?
So far, learning new types of styles of defense, playing a true multiple defense front versus a normal 4-3 tight. It's a lot, big learning curve, but it's a great learning experience.
On top of that, I noticed 4-2-5 today, 3-3-5 today, just a multiple scheme that you guys have. How is that, in a player standpoint? How does that feel?
Almost feels like learning a new position from going from 9-tech to a 4-tech, switching all over. But it's a quick learning experience. You know, I'm going to my 5th year, so I'm picking it up quick, and it's fun being able to play all over the field.
How have you seen the defense improve over the past week or so?
Yeah, 100%. We've all been putting in installs, and slowly every day we're getting better and building together as a group. So.
One thing that Coach Stalker and Ford mentions communication. How have you noticed when communication grow?
Yeah, the communication is 100% growing. Once everybody's learning the defense, our communication skills are going way up. We're all able to talk all over the field. Everybody's learning what all the communications mean from the front end to the back end, which helps us come together as a whole.
Anything else about this defense stand out to you so far?
I love Stalker's defense. I like how we're picking it up. I think it's going to be a great year.